Some interesting news coming from the Bill and Melinda Gates divorce. Didn't think I'd end up saying those words, but it turns out that Bill and Melinda Gates have been exploring a separation since 2019. Let's put that up there on the screen. Now, this is likely leaked from Melinda Gates' divorce team, so take it with a grain of salt. But according to the Wall Street Journal, quote, one source of concern for Miss Gates was her husband's dealings with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Miss Gates' concerns about their relationship dated as far back as 2013. And Crystal, one of the things that's coming from this is that Melinda Gates found out through open source reporting that Gates and her advisors were very concerned in October 2019 when the New York Times not only reported that Gates had met Epstein on a number of occasions, but, quote, once stayed late into the night at Mr. Epstein's townhouse. So there's a lot going on here. That's all I'm saying is he stayed there late. But there's a lot of questions that arise from this. This is what we said here at the time.
Well, and she's been an advocate too and involved with sex trafficking survivors.
Through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Exactly. So you can understand, reportedly, when she first met Epstein, she was like...
Creeped out. Yeah.
Creeped out, stay away from this guy. Bill didn't listen. And so that's the reporting that's come out, is that was, a major source of tension, apparently, between them.
Right. And I think what bothers me the most about this is that Bill Gates never gave a full articulation of why he was meeting with Epstein. And if you look into it, what it says is that he says, quote, I wish I'd never met him. He's like, well, you did meet him, not just once, several times. There's a photo that came out of those meetings. But when you're reading it, it seems to be some sort of complicated financial scheme involving funding the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and some research that Gates was really interested in. And here's the same question that arises whenever we talk about Leon Black. Leon Black was former head of Apollo, multi-billionaire, living in New York, king of private equity. He says, I paid Jeffrey Epstein $150 million because he gave me financial advice I can't get anywhere else. And look, when you are the king of private equity, you can get financial advice from anyone. So What does this guy know that nobody else who's not a convicted sex trafficker does know? And that only becomes tenfold whenever you're Bill Gates and you're the second richest man in the world. It's like, really, dude? You need Jeffrey Epstein to finance whatever First of all, in terms of personal wealth, all the money in the world.
Right.
But you could call the head of JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs, the most legitimate bankers in the world, to conduct your business.
Yeah.
Anybody will take your money. You don't need Jeffrey Epstein to do it. And again, this all transpired after Epstein is a convicted sex offender. This is not the pre-2005 days or anything. So that is just what makes this extraordinarily fishy to me. And if I was Melinda Gates, I'd probably be sketched out about it too.
It's a good reason for
it's not a bad reason
for divorce. It's pretty legit in my view. Like you said, look, grain of salt, it's probably from her divorce team, et cetera, et cetera.
Very, very likely from her divorce team.
It's also it's just fascinating and extraordinarily disturbing how this guy was able to infiltrate like every corner of power in America and also around the world. I mean, pictures with Bill Clinton, pictures with Donald Trump, pictures with British royalty, Bill Gates. Like, he was able to work his way into all of these circles and somehow managed, even after the convictions, still able to run in those circles and be given credibility and, given cover by these people. And that's part of why he escaped any sort of culpability for so long.
Yeah, and I just don't know, because the thing is that on the one hand, you're like, okay, well, are the richest and most powerful people really engaged in such crazy, degenerate behavior? I don't know. But on the other hand, it's like I said, I mean, what can Bill Gates and Leon Black get from Epstein that they can't get anywhere else? I mean, that's the ultimate question. I'm like, why are you paying these people? Why are you paying him $150 million, Leon Black?
Why are you associating with it?
Yes, why?
Why are you looking the other way and being like, yeah, we'll put that in the past. We'll just accept that, that it's all fine now.
Look, that's the part. I don't know what the explanation for that is, but circumstance tells you, like, what are they getting from Jeffrey Epstein that they cannot get, like I said, from the head of the most powerful banks in the United States? Every single one of them take your phone call. You've got all this money. So what is happening there? And I think that is, if you answer that question, I don't know if you'll still remain around with us, but that's the real one that we should be looking into. Okay.
All right, we'll have more Rising for you after this.